Okay, so I think my first lesson, I'm gonna show you how to use the crop tool. So first thing we're gonna do is when we first open Photoshop, you'll have, it looks like this kind of, you'll have your tools on the left hand side and you'll have your windows on the right hand side. These windows could always be changed to any one. If you go up here where it says windows, you could change it to what fits your needs, like what tools you use more often. When you first start off, I'll recommend is leaving it the way it is. The two things you should have is probably layers and history. Mine looks like this because I do a lot of graphic design and I find this is the best layout for myself. Um, but if you do like drones or you know, a different type of art, you definitely might want to, you know, play around with this and see what you like. But layers and histories is definitely I recommend that for anyone because you're always going to mess with your layers and you're always going to make mistakes and you might want to go back. And the history option or history is definitely a good thing for that. So when you first start off, you want to go to File, New, and you're brought to the screen here where you could, you know, change the name of the stuff you're working on. I'll probably put, let's see, tutorial. I don't know, let's put tag 1. And then your document type, you could have it these pre-made sizes that Adobe, you know, put in the system. You could do. I never really use none of these, but they're there. I like custom. Once you're in the next option, you have width and like height. You change the height of what your workstation. I like pixels, but you can do inches, centimeters, millimeters, different type of measurements. I'm not even sure what a PCOS is right here, but inches are for like, let's say you're making a business card and it has to be a certain like dimension. You have the option here. So I like this method. This seems fun to me. Resolution, I haven't really used this too much, so I'm still not familiar with this, but I never really touch it. Color RGB, not sure what this is. But your background here, I usually leave it as transparent because you could make it a white background or a background color, which is right here. But you can always add it on later, so I leave it as transparent. So once you're here, you end up with your workstation, where you could, you know, add layers to what you could work on your canvas. Because of a 5K iMac, I have to do 200%. That way, I know when I save it, this is the actual size of my work. So once you're here, you could, maybe you don't like the size, like midway you're working through it, you could always adjust it. So by using the crop tool, it brings up these options for you to move it around, change the size of it. Tells you the exact measurements right here next to the pointer. As you move, it changes the measurements of it. I usually do signatures a lot, so the sizes of my signatures are usually around this size right here, or this size here. Anyways, you find a dimension you like, and once you know you're fine with it, um, you go back to the arrow button, it brings this up, and you put crop, and it crops it for you. So the crop tools, I only recommend probably using early on when you start because it not only crops your work canvas, it cuts off everything off from previous layers. Like for example, let me get something started real fast. Okay, so I just drew together something really quickly just to show you as an example of what cropping can do. So here I have a little, you know, something that started real quickly with multiple layers. There's three layers here. If I wanted to make this smaller, for instance, I use a crop tool. And I want this dimension here, this dimension here. You see all that? Pretty much what's in the black space here, the pictures. If I crop it, that would disappear. And that's not what I want sometimes because sometimes once you crop it, you might have to readjust the image just because it doesn't look right. You have to move up and down, but everything you crop just goes away. So it's not possible anymore. You see that? Usually what I like to do for what's cropping is I crop either like initially when I first started doing my signature or my art, or I crop at the end. So if you want to crop at the end, what you do is you start off with this, right? And then you're like, okay, so this looks kind of big, got some empty spaces there, and let's say you want to crop this out. A better way of doing it is create a new layer and go into image and apply image. This will give you pretty much a layer of all of your a layer with all your other layers combined in one. So here's your apply image here. You could then create a new file, pretty much anything you want. Just do anything you want. Once you have the new file here, you go back to the crop tool. Then you make it, pretty big or whatever you want on here. Crop it, make it bigger than your previous image. You go back and drag the layer onto the new file you made, and then at that point, it's just these two layers here. So if you do crop it or readjust it to maybe just this portion here, the part you like, that way it's more focused on the render versus the rest of the background. It's not as messy. Okay, so I got cut off in the middle of that. I got a phone call. But anyways, I think I was talking about, so once you crop it, you have this portion here where it's more focused on your focal point. This is a really poor example because I didn't this is just some crappy thing I just made up. But anyways, once you do that, this is a safe way of cropping because that way you don't delete your previous layers, and if you want to go back, you can always, get this reapply image and drag it back here. That way you'll still have your rest of your layers that you worked on. You can always adjust it a little bit. But that's a little quick tutorial on how to crop or readjust your image when you first start off. I'll make more on, I gotta think about what I want to talk about later, but that's all for now. Thank you.